want to see that documentary so bad.
I do. I do too. Is it out yet, that documentary?
I have
No.
no idea.
Yeah, I
I haven't
definitely,
actually followed it, but it's exciting.
I definitely do. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Everybody good? What we're gonna do
Yeah.
today? We're gonna do some stuff. That's right. Are you guys ready to do some stuff? Who likes doing stuff here?
I like accomplishing things.
Yep. Oh yeah. So that's what we're gonna do. Hopefully we will. Okay, so right here. Okay, so today, well, let's do it a little refresh. I don't know if you guys remember at all because who remembers what kind of collections? Well, what kind of collections and data types have we encountered? Do you guys still remember how they work?
Yeah, array static
Yeah,
and list is
yeah.
dynamic.
That's right. That's right. And what is the name of the first place? What's the index of the first place, the first floor, or the bottommost floor, or the
Array
first item in an array? What number is it?
is 0.
That's right. So it's a basement. That's right.
Basement.
So the index base 0. Beautiful. And we have an array, and then we have a list. So remember, this is a dynamic, and it's a it's a pretty powerful thing because it comes in with built-in methods and for functions that you can use to do all sorts of stuff with it, right? And by the way, list count.
I don't know if anyone else is noticing, but your audio is really rough right now. It's jumping in and out.
Oh, is it? Oh, hold on. My audio.
Sounds like it's a network problem.
Oh, I wonder if I should go downstairs. Let's see if it improves a little bit. If not, I'll just go downstairs and plug or something. But how's the graphics though? Graphics, it's okay. Just the audio.
It sounds kind of badass. I can't tell what you're saying, but it sounds like a music
Oh
video.
yeah, I'm getting this the same thing too. Hmm. I wonder if it started when I started recording. All right. Well, let me check if it's my Discord. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Hmm. Let's
You're
see.
coming in clear now.
I am.
Yep, it just cleared up.
Oh, okay. I like it. That. Do you see what I did? I did it. Yeah, I fixed it. I fixed it on purpose. That's right. Okay, so are we good now? Somewhat.
Yeah, for now.
Okay, yeah. Let me know if not. I'll just go. I'll connect downstairs because I'm on Wi-Fi right now. Okay, so we have list. We have sweet list and we have an array. And by the way, you could tell the amount of items an array has by doing the same using the same method count. So let me just put it up here too because that way you guys can remember. Okay, so apartments dot count. Sometimes it's length. Length is important, no matter what they say. You got to remember that. Okay. Um, yeah. So we have yeah we have a list here, and you could put things in the list, and you can remove things by an index. You can remove count. You could do all sorts of things. All right. Um, and remember that you could put things we could put things of different types in the list. A list can put not only basic data types like strings or integers or cars or longs, you could put different types of objects in there. Excuse me, like classes. So we were using a person and put it in there. So we have a list of persons and we called it a roster. So then we can somewhat manipulate the whole thing at a time instead of doing it one by one or in different instances. Okay, so far so good. Okay, so flow control. So um, this is definitely the next step, and or one of the final steps in some of the tools that we're going to be using before we start using everything together. I hope that you guys are keeping up and understand at least most of the stuff. Maybe at least let's say 70% of what we've done so far. Because once we do this, then we're going to start doing more interesting things. But this is kind of important because what we're going to do today is we're going to do flow control, like programming flow control and loops. Okay, so flow control of programs. Let me add in here. These, I mean, they're pretty straightforward, but I think it's important, for us to bang it a few times to make it solid. Okay, so we have already done a few. We did the if statement. So why would you use an if statement? And are if statements important? Yeah, go ahead, think it. Well, have we used if statements before?
Yes, we did. To
Yeah.
meet a condition.
Exactly. Yeah. If statements, you guys understand if statements pretty, at least what they are, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
if statements, so executes, so execute code based on a condition, right? Condition. So true or false. So an example. So if has potion. So remember.
All right. Yeah, we did do that.
Exactly. Yeah, you guys remember? So
Hmm.
if whatever goes, the important thing to remember is whatever goes inside these parentheses, right, has to evaluate to true or false. Okay. And it will only it would only execute whatever's inside the if statement if it is true. Only if that evaluates to true. I know you're saying, oh man, this shit's fucking easy. Yeah, this shit's easy, but it's a little tricky. Believe me, I will test you on this, and you're gonna be hurting for, hurting. I was gonna say hurting for a squirt, but that's the wrong movie. Yeah. What was that? Yes, 40-year-old version, I think it was. Yeah. Good movie. But anyway, so it has to, yeah, only if true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So examples. If it has potion, then drink it. Right? Okay, so now.
That's the alcoholic's motto right there.
Yep, at all times, especially at the Ren Fair. Drink it.
Coincidentally, there are some games I played where that's a condition where like you just pick it up and you drink it, whatever it is. If it's good or bad, it's yours.
Oh yeah, that should be. That's a good game too. Okay, especially if you're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It's like maybe it's one of the character flaws or something like it has to drink whatever it finds, and then the DM is a douche. You could just like
Potion
put
addiction,
some.
man.
Yeah. It's like give me. Okay, so if has potion. So let me ask you a question though. So in order, you see, I say if has potion, right? So are you guys familiar with what logical statements are? Because I mean, up to now, if has potion, in this case, what does has potion have to be? Yeah. what does it have to be? Because if has potion. So remember, what is the one data type that we know has to be either true or false? Which we keep forgetting up here. Which it is the most important data type of all. And you will become intimately familiar with it. This data type you're gonna feel intimately. Remember, you go to, like, imagine you go to jail. This is gonna be your buddy. This is gonna be your teammate right here, which we keep forgetting. And this is the most basic of all data types. Which one is it?
String.
No, we got string here. It's not here. We totally forgot it because we take it for granted. That's how it is. You can't be taking for granted stuff.
Talking about the Boolean?
That's right.
Okay.
The bit himself or herself. I don't know if they're females or males. Yeah, it's a bool, my friend. Boolean, my friend. And this is the single most important data type of all. Because that is the 1 and 0 itself right there. So Boolean evaluates to true or false. Do not take it for granted. So we have so if a integer can have a bunch of numbers, right? So what can a Boolean have?
It has, I guess you could say, 2 numbers. Or just
Nah.
true, false.
Yeah, it's either true or false, and that's the way that it understands it. In computer code, it's either true or false. It's 1 and 0, but for now just remember true or false. It's smart enough where it knows. Okay, so are you guys good with that? A bool is true or false?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you sure? Oh man, don't forget about, remember this is gonna be your buddy in jail. It's gonna love you. Just very important. Yeah, so it's a Boolean. It's easy, right? It's very easy. True or false. Okay, so has potion. What kind of data type would that be, you think? We're just making it up, but logically, if you look at it, and whatever.
Yeah.
Was that?
That's a yes or no question. So
Exactly. Yeah.
Go with the Boolean.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is a very good way to. So yes or no. So in here it's yes or no. So whatever's in here, if you read this, and if it evaluates to true, then you do this. If not, you don't. So in this case, let's say we have bool. Yeah, let's go bool. Has potion. Let's just make it up. By default, it's false. So just remember that. So if you do this, bool has potion. It's false. But if you, or if you do this, this would be true. Okay. So far so good here. You guys understand this? Yeah. So again, whatever goes in here has to evaluate to true or false. Straightforward, easy. Okay, so before we continue, he said, remember, has potion. Okay, so let me go back, and do you guys remember what these logic statements are? Let's go back to them. It's a good thing that we have these. Okay. It's very important that you guys remember this because, again, this is going to be your bread and butter. Okay, so what does 2 equals mean? It means checking for equivalency, not equal. This is and. Yeah.
Are you moving stuff around? Because our screen hasn't changed. My screen hasn't changed for quite a while.
Oh crap! Really? Oh man, I'm going all over the place. Screen. Oh man, you got yeah. I think I should go downstairs then. Hold on. Uh, let me see. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm doing all sorts of crazy stuff in here. You guys can't see it?
Nope.
No,
Oh,
actually, I just refreshed and your screen is totally blank now.
oh man. Okay, so let me take this downstairs maybe because this is I think the Wi-Fi might be kind of weird or I don't know what's up. Um, let me try to change windows, stop sharing screen. Yeah, this is really odd. Hmm. Yeah, this is kind of important here. Okay, so let me give you a so you guys remember you guys see it up to the point where has potion has to be bull, correct? Has to be if it has potion, then you drink it. Right? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Well, let me restart one more time and then if not, I'll just go and do the whole thing. I'll just go downstairs.
All right.
Okay.
If you stop and start the video on your thing, that might help too.
All right. You mean the sharing?
The the broadcast button, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave call. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Well, where's the broadcast over here? Well, let me see. Change windows. There you go. Let me see this.
It's right next
Oh.
to the left of leave call. You can turn your video
Oh, wait
on.
a minute. I think it's Discord. It is winging out. Okay, let me restart. Be right back. Can you guys hear me? No, you can't. I just restarted Discord.
Hello, hello.
Yep.
All right.
Let's see. Am I sharing?
You don't appear to be sharing.
Okay.
There you go.
There you go. Oh, what's up, Dave?
Hey, what's up?
What's happening? All right. So, can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. You're Asian, Dave? I didn't know you were Asian.
Yeah, I'm Asian.
Man. Okay, can you guys see? All right. So
Good
so
now.
so every once in a while, let's take like every 5 minutes or 10 minutes or so, let's do like a tech check because obviously it's Discord's wigging out today a little bit. Okay.
Yeah, I actually disabled my my Logitech extensions because they were just flipping out all the time. So make it easy.
Yeah, no, I wonder what's up. I don't think I have too many things open. OBS. Yeah, it should be fine. Okay. So as I was saying, we are here. Has potion, right? So let me know if this is too tiny. I'll make it big. Let me make it. There you go. So if it has potion, execute whatever is inside um, the if statement. Has potion has to be something that evaluates to true or false. In this case, since has potion is a boolean, it is a data type that can only be true or false, and we have set it to true. So this time it's going to execute. Okay, now, do you guys remember these statements that we use to check, well, to combine statements and to check and compare for logic? And we use
Yeah.
an if statement. Okay, so just a quick refresher. Two equal signs, check for equivalency, not equal, and or. Okay, So let's do those. You guys are going to be doing a lot of that, by the way. This is your bread and butter, as I was saying. That, and I know it seems silly and it seems easy now, but I really, really suggest you pay attention to this one, and because it can get pretty quick, pretty tricksy. Yeah. So let's see. So I could say if has potion equals to false, right? So what does that mean? So when do I want to execute the code here?
Whenever you do not have a potion in your hands or whatever.
Correct. Okay. So you see how I'm using equal here? Yeah. I could also say, yep. I could also say if have potion equals to true. So remember, we have characters, right? So let's say I have a person character, me, right? Let's pretend person. I'm a person, Caesar. So we're building on what we did before, so you guys remember what the person character sort of looks like here, right? I mean, what the class looks like, at least in a way here. I mean, we don't even have to do that. It's just good. Okay, let's see. So if the potion is true, right? But what if I wanted to drink the potion only? Actually, it's just some character name. Person character. Okay. All right. So what if I wanted to drink the potion if the name of the person, of the character here, which is something of type person, was named Caesar? How would I do that? See, I'm throwing you hard stuff now. Type it. You guys have 20 seconds to type. Yeah. So I only want to drink my potion if I have a potion, and the character name, which is of type person, is Caesar. Let's see. Do I see anybody here? I don't see the answers here. I ain't see no answers. Where's Spliff? You Spliff, where the G's at?
Let me see.
That might have been. Is that one too difficult, you think?
No, I gotta type around my keyboard, my microphone. So
no problem. No problem. It is all good. Let's see.
Dang it! I keep missing stuff. I probably still got the syntax mixed up, but
let's see. Okay, I'm about to check. Do I have anything on my Discord? Let's see. Sort of okay. Just the syntax is a little bit odd. See, you're forgetting something. It's sort of okay. You're somewhat correct, but no. Remember, I showed you these things for a reason.
Okay.
Right here. Save you time and money. And like the goblins, say, time is money, friend. That's right. In World of Warcraft. Dave, where you at, Dave? I ain't see you. Where your code at?
Trying to type as fast as I can.
It's all good. All good. Oh, I really should set it up so we can all. Well, in the meantime, let's see.
Is this I'm about to put it redo it. Is this valid?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, that is very valid. See, yeah, you got to use those.
So some languages don't like all that in one line.
Oh no, this one you have to. It's very important. And also, not only is very important, you kind of have to do compounds if you want to get certain things. You have to use them, and it's good for your mind too because it's an exercise. It's a kind of like a brain exercise or a game in which you have to kind of, you know, break it down and see, hey, is this true or false or what is it?
You know what's funny is I've actually I use some websites in which the search forms are exactly that. Like
Yeah,
you just type them in, in that form and they just work. And I wonder if they just
they're just lazy and just go straight. Well, not lazy, but
they just
it works.
exactly that way. Yeah.
Yeah, no, they just pass it. It's not even lazy. Yeah, that is the kind of the universal for those. That's the universal and the universal or. I mean, sometimes you could just use the word and. By the way,
Yeah.
I just don't want you to get used to it. But yeah. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that is correct. That is very, very correct. I mean, you forgot the closing bracket, the second closing
Dope.
bracket here, but that's not bad. Yeah. So remember, if it makes it easier on you, instead of these things, you may use the word and.
A&D.
No, and. Yeah, A-N-D, because that's what it means. That's what it means. Oh no, I'm sorry. This here, you may use the word and. Yeah.
All in all caps, right?
Not really, but
What?
yeah, it's just normal and. Yeah. Oh, I mean, when we're talking about like if C sharp won't understand
Okay.
it, no, no,
All
no,
right.
no, yeah, no. C sharp won't understand it. C sharp understand this is and, but other languages actually understand the word and, like SQL, SQL, and this is or. Okay, so far so good then. I mean, you guys understand that, and that this is good that you guys understand this and you know what's up. So and character dot name. Oh, actually, I'm not sure if you guys. Let's see. Did you guys forget? Oh, good. Okay, yes, yeah. You see, you use both. Ah, that's nice. Equals Caesar. Okay. Quick question. Can you guys see my screen still? You're good.
Yes.
Okay. What happens? Is this correct if I just have one?
Just have one.
Equal sign. Sorry. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, that'll
No, that will crash it. So you got two. Um. Okay, so that's pretty good. I mean, just to expand on this, and then we'll move on to lose because I think this is you guys are pretty good at this. Um. What about if I want and the age is less than 40? What do you think it is? Oh yeah, let me add that. This is less than. And this is higher than. Okay, so yeah, if their age is less than 40. That should be pretty quick or easy, I think. All right. Let me know when you guys are good with it. Ah, okay, nice. Exactly. Yeah, so this is pretty straightforward. You guys know what's up. Are you good with this, Dave?
Yes.
Type it up. So you're 100% good with age less than 40?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I am going to give you one last one and then we'll move on. Because we did and is pretty cool. So, do you guys know what or means? In logic terms, and actually means?
I'm not sure what you're getting
Okay, yeah, no, I know because a lot of people we use it as, I mean, we use it in English and we don't even think about what it is. But let me tell you what it actually means in programming speak. And this is very important because this will help you write better code, and it will prevent you from some pretty ugly loopholes later on.
Are you gonna explain this in ones and zeros?
No, it's I will. I might have to later on, but it's well, it's this truth table. It's kind of the and or truth table, and it's I will try not to, but I might have to. But so and correct. So in English, right? It means and. So that means that both of these things have to be true. And I know it sounds easy and dumb, sort of, but it means both of these things have to be true in order to execute this, correct?
Generally, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it means. It's very easy. It's very easy. So the way the computer looks at it, it goes in. You guys see my marker? Yep, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah. It goes in and it reads the first one. It gets like, "Hey man, what's up?" So I'm evaluating. Excuse me. I'm evaluating some stuff here. So it says, "Okay, is the first dude true?" All right. So I mean, it looks at the end and says, "Hey man, is the first dude true?" Okay. Yeah. Okay, then is the second dude true? Yeah. So they're both true. Then I go in and I do my stuff. Now let me ask you a question. What if I'm going in, the computer's going in, and I read the first one and it's false? What happens? Mac?
Then the condition is not true.
Exactly. So again, so in order for an and to be equal to true, in order to perform, in order for it to be true, both of the dudes have to be true. Correct? I know it's silly and it's dumb, but I want you to remember that, and I want you to kind of nail it into your head. So, in order for any of these true, this is where it gets computer sciencey a bit. So, and both of these dudes have to be true in order for them to be true. It's logic. It's logic gates. Okay. So, if at any time either of these guys is not true, then it fails. Correct? It's false automatically. That's easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So true equals true only if both are true. I know it sounds that simple, but yeah. Now, or is pretty cool because or is only true when one of them is true. It sounds very, it's straightforward. Or equals true when one or both are true. So you only need one of them to be true for the whole thing to be true in an or statement. So again, if I'm going in here, right? I'm reading, it's like, okay, and I have an or here. Let's say this is an or. I'm going over here and I'm saying, hey man, okay, I'm checking this. I see an or here, so let me check the dude to the left. Is this guy true? Okay, this guy is true. So right there and then, we could go straight to go and collect 200. We go straight in. We can execute whatever's inside the if either this is true or this is true or both. Okay, so that's pretty straightforward somewhat, right? I mean, do you guys get that?
Yeah.
I know I keep asking, but it is kind of important, and it might throw you some
What I wonder is, are we going to be working with different types of or statements?
Well, you're going to be combining ands and ors, and it can get pretty tricky. So it's very important to sort of understand how they work. But
I guess.
Yeah, what do you mean? Sorry.
In this particular instance, it is an exclusive or.
Oh yeah, no, that's what we're going to be using, I think.
Okay.
You mean like XOR and things like that?
Yeah.
No, we're not. That stuff is it's not really used that much anymore.
Okay. Well, if the or statement was a true or statement, both conditions could be true, and it would still return true.
Oh, it is. That's
Okay.
That's what yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry, I missed that.
No, yeah. If both are true, yeah. So if you get at least one is true, then it's true. Yeah, if at least one is true. Yeah, that's sort of what it means. Let's see. Okay. Again, I know I'm pontificating here with some of these, but it's we'll get the goods over here. So or. Oh, and we forgot one more. Okay, we're ready?
Ready.
Okay, so not, that means not or negate. Yeah, it's getting tricksy now.
It's opposites then.
Yeah, so it is. So if instead, so let's say I have has potion, right? Which equals to true. So if I said, or actually, let's go over here. So if I said not has potion, I know it's pretty easy, yeah. So in this case, if potion is true, when would this execute?
If the character doesn't have a potion.
That's right. Yeah. So if it's the opposite, basically this does the opposite of whatever the value of this is. So you're correct. All right. So and also, do you guys know equal here and then not equal? Yeah. Okay. So if statements. I think we can go on to. I mean, we could go and practice some of these, but I think you guys are going to be naturally running into these and evaluating them and kind of doing your own debugging when we start doing some of the stuff after we start doing after we do loops. But yeah, so I mean, you guys get the compound statements, ands and nors, and if it's equals. That's as much as you need for now. Would you guys say that you feel somewhat comfortable with if statements? Maybe. Okay, good. So now let's get some loops action. Okay, loops. Okay, this is I think where a lot of people have trouble, and it's a little tricksy, but let's try to make it as painless as possible. And I hope we should be okay in here. We are going to encounter loops in various ways, but let's. Well, what is a loop? Anybody? It's a well, I'll tell you. It's a construct. It's a code construct that can repeat. Yeah, to repeat a certain task. Well, to repeat a task or piece of code a certain amount of times. Let's call that from now n times. Okay.
It is the end of times.
Yeah. You'll see that the word, I mean the letter n sometimes, and that's kind of the amount of times. It's kind of like x.
It's very useful.
Yeah. So whenever I say n amount of times, it's kind of like a random or variable amount of times. It's a certain amount of times, just in your mind, and we'll just go that it could be any amount of times. It could be 5 or 10. Don't get hung up on a certain one unless we give it a number. Is that cool?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Okay, so a loop. Do you guys want to start at the easiest type of loop or the hardest type of loop first?
The easiest.
Okay. Yeah, that is true. Okay, so I'm going to sort of cheat here, and we're going to do the for each statement. That is for each. Statement. This is in C. I mean in C sharp. Okay, so now we got the for each statement, and we're again. So what will you use a loop for? Got to repeat it. Keep repeating it.
Iterate a process.
Yeah, just like do something a certain amount of times. Okay, good. So a for each statement. So in our code, let's say that I have a collection. Okay. So collections, which we're kind of familiar with, they have something called a for each, which is a kind of built-in loop for them. So let me show you, this is really, really cool. Okay, so a collection, well, a loop for collection, yeah. So for each loops through the collection. And again, I mean, you sound it out, it's pretty straightforward. So let's say we have a collection called roster. Okay. And roster is a collection of people, right? So far, so good. It would be this kind of, it should seem a little familiar, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And roster contains a group of people. We don't know how many. And, well, let's see, roster, people, let's say it's a list. Yeah. So list is a collection, right? All right. Yeah. List is roster. It's a collection, a list of people. Okay. And we're here. Blip. And we can use roster. And just so we, let me just do this right. Yeah, was that? People. Okay, so let's. Oh, sorry. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
No, don't worry. My dog was doing that earlier when the cable people were here fixing my cable.
Yeah.
I was like, Maggie, stop it, Maggie.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, so we have a collection, and it's called roster, and it has a collection of our party. So for now, let's just say we have, we have yeah, Dan, we got Dave, we got me for now, right? Yeah. This is just us, just throwing it out there. So it has a built-in collection somewhat, right? But there's also the statement. So for each, loop through the collection. All right. We're not going to use the built-in, but I'll show you the way that it's not first. Okay. So now in C#, the way you use it is you go. It might be easier if we just do it in code, I think. All right, nice. Here. Character. Let me look for the code where we have our sweet code here. Oh, nice. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, nice. Yeah, we're not here yet. So, okay, so we have roster here. Beautiful. I'm just gonna push this down for now. I think this is the best place to explain it. So we have roster, and roster is a collection, a list of persons. So if I type for each, okay, now you don't really have to memorize this. You could always go Google this, or just have the environment do it for you, or like just fill it in for you. Like, let me show you a cool trick. Okay, right now I'm gonna type for each, right? Okay, you see here?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and if it says tap twice to insert for each snippet. So the environment has really cool features that it makes it easier for you to write certain code. So in here, if I'm here, right, and I've tapped twice.
Whoa.
Yeah, right? It's really cool. I mean, you don't have to memorize that, but it's in the future it might be useful. So this is what I want you to remember. This is the syntax of a for each statement. I'm going to go back to it, but let's add this to our code here. This is the body, the structure of a for each statement. You say for each, and then whatever collection you're dealing with. Yep. And so, all right. So yeah. So for each item in the collection, actually, yeah, sound that out for me. Sound that out for me, please. Okay, say it. For each item.
For each item.
Yeah, in the collection.
In the collection.
Okay. So again, leave this like this here, right? Okay, so now, and just plug in whatever you're dealing with. Okay, so now, collection. So what is our collection? What collection are we going to be dealing with? I'm sorry, what? Sorry.
You're talking about a list or
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, a collection. It's gonna be a type of list, which is the collection that we're kind of messing with right now. So, what collection are we dealing with now that we were just talking about?
Roster.
That's right, roster. Let's see. Oh man, where are my things to move my code left and right? Yeah, I'll do that later. Yeah. So roster. So in here, instead of collection, you take that away because our collection is gonna be called roster.
are you talking about tabbing your code by any chance?
Something like that. Yeah. There's
You could do like shift tab or tab if you highlight it all. It should work.
yeah. I mean, there's stuff here. No, but I have there's buttons here that it kind of you set it as shortcuts, kind of. Yeah. I was just wondering where mine went. Which is weird. Yeah. Let's see. Increase. Is this what I was looking for? But yeah, I think I did. Okay, yeah, something like that. Yeah, it is. This does what you were referring to somewhat. Okay, so but yeah, or just tap, highlight and tap. And shift tab is to the left.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I gotta remember that because I forget that one.
It works in Notepad++ as well.
Oh, that's big. I always forget the left one though. I always do it to the right. Okay, so yeah. So for each roster, yeah, for each, so our collection. So for each item in our collection or a collection, which is our collection is going to be roster, do whatever is in here. And now, don't get lost here. Don't get lost here because this is the trick. This is an important part here. Okay. Okay. Item is going to represent each item in this collection. So basically, this is saying, hey, do this to each item in this collection. So whatever you write in here, you're dealing with the word item and it's just one item, right? But it's going to do it for everyone in the collection. That's what this is. For each item in this collection and roster, do whatever you want in here to each item. I know it's a little abstract, but you know, it's just think about it. Once you get the hang, it's pretty straightforward. Well, like anything else, sort of. So in this case, I have 3 people. So let's say I want to set everybody's hit points to 30. How would I do that? How do you think? Remember, item represents each person in that roster because it's of type person, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you
So
do this dot hit points is equal to 30?
well, item. Remember, it's item. This sort of works, but yes, it's item. This is a weird. It's a interesting word. Yeah. So hit points equals 30.
Huh. Okay. I was very confused at how that the first
Yeah.
term, but before the period works.
Yeah, because this is oh, you mean this? Yeah. Oh yeah, no, because like I said, this is going to represent each item in the list.
Okay. Okay.
And, yeah. So it's really powerful. That's why it does so much in so little code that it gets a little confusing because it's very powerful. Yeah, so this is for each, and then yeah, for each item in here. So yeah, so all this construct is extremely powerful because whatever's in here, you're gonna do to every item or for each item in the roster. One thing that you're gonna notice is you don't know, there's no way to tell how many times you're gonna do this. It just does it. Do you guys sort of notice that? Like there's no counter. It's like, oh, I'm gonna do this 3 times, 5 times, 10 times. It will just do it for as many times for as many items that there are. And that's cool. I mean, that is really cool.
But sometimes you want that.
Exactly. Yeah. Which is, yeah, exactly. Sometimes you want it. But in this time, you know, we're doing it that many times and it's cool. Okay. So, right here. So, what if I wanted to change their age to 20?
Should be item.age equals 20.
Yeah, yes, it's easy. Yep, age equals 20. Okay. Now, what if I wanted to um, set their age to 50 if their name was Dave? Getting tricky here, huh? What would I do?
If item name equal signs.
That's right.
Dave.
Yep. Oh, nice. That's what I'm talking about. Dave.
Said was it set his age to 50?
Then set item name to 50. I mean,
age, right?
Yeah, correct. Very nice. Very nice. So this would only affect who when it's doing all of this?
An item in roster named Dave.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much. It would not affect anyone else. Let's see. So, what about you're running through here, right? And how can, if their hit points is 0, then their job is dead?
That's great.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, I mean, if what?
Item.hit points equals 0.
Nice.
Equivalency 0.
That's right. Then
Item.job equals
yep,
dead.
that is correct. Item.job equals dead because you did. Nice. Yeah, so you see how we're doing this. How we did this right here, right? It's somewhat straightforward. So again, I mean, the important thing is remember the construct. Just if you want to use a for each, Google it. You have it in your magic notes. It's very important to have it in your magic notes. Just remember what it is. It's just for each. And this var item just means, hey, do everything in here. Basically for each item in the collection, do all of these things here. An item is going to represent each one in the whole list. That kind of concept is sort of the tricksy concept. But do you guys get it? That this is representing each item in the roster. So what it's doing is, let's sort of go guide it through the flow. Okay, are you guys ready to do that?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, because it's let's say I have 3 items in memory. I have in roster currently we have 3. Let's see, let me bring it up. This is roster. Okay, you guys can see this. In roster we have 3 items. First one is Caesar, second's Dan, third one's Dave. Okay. So it says for each. Okay, so now the first time, the way it's going to do it is the machine, remember you have to read things line by line sort of, and like the machine is doing. So it's going to go, okay, so item. I got an item here. I mean, I have a collection. And I'm going to take the first dude in the collection. And I'm going to, this is representing the first dude, and I'm going to go through all of this. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, so for each. So the first thing that the for each statement looks at is, hey, looks at the roster and looks at how many items are there. How many items does it have?
3 items.
Yes. So if the amount of numbers inside the list is higher than 0, then it goes in here. If it's 0, it's not going to do anything. So it just skips whatever, correct? It just skips whatever you put in here because there is nothing that there's nothing to do because there's no items in there. Okay, so but if there were, we're going to go in here. So it says, okay, hey man, look at this. I got a list here called roster. We got some dudes in here. Okay, so I'm going to take the first item and I'm going to put it in here, and this is going to represent the first guy. So let's go. Okay, so let's go line by line. So what happens? So item. So in this case, which person am I representing? The first on the first item the first time around, because remember it's a loop, so it's doing it a whole bunch of times. In this time, I mean in this case, it's doing this 3 times because that is the amount of times or the amount of items that there's in roster. Okay, so and again it takes the first guy in the list or the first whatever of the type. In this case is going to be, it's a type person. So in this case, item is going to be who? Is going to be representing who? Or what?
Dave.
No. Remember, it's a list. So the list, oh, I'm sorry. You're sort of correct.
Yeah, I thought the
Yeah.
the 0.
Crap. You're right. You're definitely right. Normally, you start from the top and then you go down with list. Yeah, like this one is the first, and then the one under it is the second one, and then so on. Yeah, you sort of do the same thing with arrays as well, but we'll get that. We'll get to that. Yeah. So for us in this thing here, do you guys prefer if we start from the bottom? I mean, how do you find that easier? I don't know. Yeah. I mean, how do you find that easier?
As long as we keep it consistent, I'm good.
Okay. Well, yeah, because that's the thing. Because once you start using it, it's gonna be a little bit tricksy. Okay, yeah, it's fine. Let's take the Dave. Okay, yeah, because that's how we've been doing it. You're correct. Okay, so the first one is going to be Dave. So now the first item that we're dealing with is Dave. This one right here. So we set Dave, we set Dave here to what? Hit points to what? 30, yeah. And then his age, we set it to what? 20, right? Correct? Here.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we go into the next one. And then if the name is Dave, so is the name Dave?
It is.
Okay, then his age, we set it to 50. Let's just do that, actually. Let's go ahead. Set it to 50. All right. And we go on. Are his hit point 0? Nah, so we don't touch his job. We don't do anything. And then we hit the end. So now we go back up. And it asks itself, it's like, hey, man, do we have any people on the roster? Do we have more people in the roster? Okay, so, we do. Okay, we have a second guy. Okay, let's do whatever for the second guy. So now the second guy is loaded. So here, we're dealing with whom the second time?
Dan.
Yep, Dan. So we set Dan's hit points to 30. Yeah, that's 30 right here. Okay, we set his age to 20. Okay, is the name equal to Dave?
No.
No, so we leave his age the way it is. His hit point 0?
Thankfully not.
No. Okay, good. So we bypass this and we go to the end and then we go back up. Again, this is kind of important for you to go in your mind and remember. Programming is all about flow. Flow, going through things, checking the state of things, and going through. Okay. So roster. So we check roster again. Hey, do we have any more people in that list? Hey, I think we do. We have another guy. Okay, so now we load this guy here, and then we're dealing with, with the third guy here. So set his hit points to 30. Age 20. Okay, is it Dave? No. Hit point 0? No. So there we go. So okay, we reach the end and then we go back up. And then we say, hey, do we have any more people? Do we have any more people?
No.
We don't. So therefore, we exit the loop and we continue with our program. So the important thing is, once we go through this loop and whatever happens here, all of these changes have been affected by this loop. So before the state of things, before we got here, they were different than this, correct? Well, yes, right? Because during the loop, we changed it, we updated based on some logic. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, and again, you're going to do it a certain amount of times. How many times are you going to do this things on this kind of loop?
N amounts of times.
That's right. And n is based on what?
The number of items in storage.
And the list on the collection.
Oh,
yes. Yeah. No. Number of items in the collection. So that is so you guys. I mean, so yeah. I mean, it's kind of once you go through the flow of the logic, because that's what it's all about. That's what programming is, going through the flow of the logic. You get it. Okay, so how do we feel about for each statements?
Yay.
Yeah? I know. And again, we're going to be doing actual hands-on programming, because right now, I know it's totally different looking at somebody and then following along than actually doing yourself. When you do it yourself, that is when you actually learn much, much faster. So again, this is just, I'm introducing you to the tools, but soon we're going to start using them and using them in earnest. So definitely keep notes and make sure you're following along as much as you can, because once we start coding and doing actual stuff, it will take, the more attention you pay here, the more you get it here, the easier it will be for you later, I think. Okay, so yeah, so for each, pretty straightforward blip, right? Actually, I'll just do this because I could show you the shorthand for the for each, but I think that just confuses things. We don't need that for now, I think. I used that before, I think, in one of the functions.
We could optimize that little loop though, if we wanted right? Can we use an else statement?
Oh yes. Oh man, I totally forgot about the else statement, which we will go back and do it. Yes, an else and else if. Yes. That is correct.
So we have 2 age entries, and we can just kind of condense them down.
Oh yes, real. Well, while we're here, we might as well talk about the if and if else. You guys remember the if statement, of course, right? Let me add it. Yeah, let me go back. You're kind of correct. I'm going to do this kind of quick here. Quick and dirty. So if then we have also if is true. Then we have the if else statement. Oh yeah. Yeah, there you go. I kind of skipped over these, my bad. Okay. We have three different types of if statements. They're pretty easy, so don't, that's what we're kind of going to do them pretty quick. So we're totally good on the if statement. Okay, good. So now we have something called an if else statement. So if whatever's in here is equal to true, do this if true, right? But if it's not true, what do you think is going to happen? Then do this is false. Well, this takes a lot of space. Or yeah, do this if false. All right, let's see. Yeah, so do you guys get this sort of like if this is true, do this. So yeah, so this is true. Then if this is not true, then go down here. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, it's kind of simple. I mean, should I go over this one here somewhat? No, this one's easy, right? Like, if this is true, do this. If not, then do this. Dave, are you good?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we will go back to this one because it's very important, I think. And then you have if true. Then you have, okay, so if this is true, then you have else if true. And else, and then else. This is kind of the default.
Man, you can kind of go crazy with it.
Yeah, it can get really, really, really crazy. So that's a good thing you brought it up, because let's rewrite. Well, let's sort of write this again. Wait 1 second. Maggie. That's weird. Okay, so let's rewrite this. So let's do this using, let's see, this new logic. So if else or is else, if else if statements. Okay. So let's keep one simple. So how do I do if your hit points are full, or if your hit points are 20, then let's see. Actually, if you're at full, then you gain 10 hit points. Yes. If you're at full, then you gain 10 hit points. But if not, then you set your life to 20. Is that too now? Do you guys get it? So if you're at max health, you become stronger by 10. But if you're not at max health, you get set to max health. I may be making that a little bit. Well, so if what?
If hit points are equivalent to max hit points.
Yeah, or 20. Correct. Yeah, max hit. You're correct. Yes, hit points is max. It's equals to max hit points here. Well, I don't start. Max hit points. Then
hit points is equal to 30.
That's right.
That's our overheal.
Yeah. But in this case, overheals are good because they're giving you more hit points. They give you a shield or a bubble or something,
Oh
which is
yeah,
good.
no, that's I guess in Team Fortress, if you got to your max hit points and the healer's still healing you, you go over the top for a little while.
Oh, nice. Okay, so this is the best right here. But else, so else, what happens if?
If
Yeah,
oh, hit points are equal to 20.
there you go. Else. Now let me ask you a question. I'm about to ask you a trick question. It's a logic question. Okay. So what would happen? Okay. Well, what happens if my hit points are 20?
If they're already 20,
If I go in here and the dude's hit points are 20, what happens to his hit points?
actually, I guess in our condition, they would always go to the max. They would always go to 30.
Well, yeah, no, that's why I'm asking because I'm changing this for now. That's why, yeah, don't look at that. Don't look at this right here. Okay, so here. So if I were into this loop with item, let's say, so if items dot hit points equals 20, then they would go here, correct?
Yeah,
Okay. So what happens if the hit points were 15?
it would end up going up to 20.
Yes. What happens if there were 22?
Wow, that would go down.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So it would go down, right? Which is I mean it's maybe good or bad, but this is our logic though. So Dave, do you understand what would happen if it was 22
Yeah,
or 25? Yeah,
go down to 20.
exactly. Yeah,
Sucks.
exactly. No. So logically, our logic it's logically makes sense, but it's important to check your logic once in a while because it might not do whatever you want. I mean, syntactically is correct, but logically maybe not 100%. But yeah, so we're not messing with that now. But yeah, that's fine for now. Okay, so you guys get the if else. Okay, now let's do another one, and then we'll move on, continue with the rest. I mean, with the list and loops. Okay, so now let's try to fix some kind of hole that we might have left up there, I think. So if item dot hit points equals item dot max hit points. That's weird. Oh, max hit points, yeah. Oop, yep. Wait a second. I pressed the wrong button. Okay. Max hit points. Then let's say, yeah, let's do the same thing. Equals to 20. Well, equals to 30. Item. Now let's add another. So we got if, right? I mean if. So if it's 20, we're gonna set the hit points to 30. So now if else, oh yeah, if else item dot hit points, let's say higher than item dot max hit points. Mm-hmm. Let's say item, if it's higher than max hit points, should we set it to 50 or something maybe? Or just set them back to max hit points because that is the max hit points.
Just have them leave them alone too.
Well, yeah. Yeah, no, but well, we want to make an example here. So, yeah, so for now, item max hit points equals max hit points. Yeah, actually, yeah. We'll go through it in a second. Sorry, let me just. We're correcting them here. That way they cannot go over. And then else.
Oh, I see. So we want to make sure we're never over the max.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
Item dot hit points equals 20. Again, I'm just throwing logic at you here. That's right. Okay. Oh, actually, is else if statement. That's what it's called. Blip. Else if, yep. Okay, so yeah, you see I'm throwing logic at you here. Throwing logic, remember. Whenever you see code, don't freak out. Never ever freak out. Read it one by line. Take it, step by step. Go with the flow. Read the logic. And it makes sense. That's what code is so cool, because it all makes sense if you go step by step and you don't freak out. I mean, you're going to see a whole bunch of jumble things all over the place all the time. And it's going to look pretty ugly sometimes. But in the end, it makes sense. And it should be, at least it should make sense. That's what we're kind of striving for. Sometimes it might not, but it should. Okay, so now. So all right, so read it with me here. So if the hit points are equal to max hit points, we set them to 30. We're giving them a buff. Okay. Now, so let's say my hit points are 20, correct? So let's say there's 20. Well, not correct. Right? My hit points are 20. Which of these, if my hit points are 20, which one I'm gonna hit?
The first one.
Okay, boom. What happens after the first one?
It ends.
Right? Yeah. So it takes control. The control goes from here all the way till after these, because none of these are gonna execute it. That's very important for you to remember. Once any of these gets executed, you jump out. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Also, remind me. Let's see. Case statement. Well, let me see. Case statements. There's something called case statements, which we'll probably go over later, but not right now. Yeah. Case statements they're if statements, but they just look prettier. But for now, let's do this. Actually, I'll probably go over case statements later on, but we'll see. So let's stick to if statements for now. Okay, yeah, so if it's 20, boom. Okay, what if it's 22?
We're going to bring it down to 20.
Okay, yeah, so.
The else if number 2.
Okay, so again, do me a favor though. Read it to me, start here, and read it to me like if I was a computer. Like, Dave, go ahead. Make sure make believe you're a computer and read line by line and go through the flow of control with me in your mind and sound it out. I'm a computer. You're a computer. Go ahead. Where are you at?
Item hit points equals 22.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't equal to item max hit points, which is 20.
Exactly. So what
it
happens?
Skips the first one where item hit points equals 30. So it goes to the next line.
Bloom, exactly. So it goes here. Beautiful.
Else if
Mm-hmm.
22 is greater than item max hit points, which is 20, then you execute that statement.
Boom. So I go in here. So I'm over here.
Yes.
I'm like, hey, what's up? I come in here and I do this thing right here. And I'm like, hey, man,
22.
hit points equals to 20. So blip. And then I skip this because I already did this. So it's kind of only one. So that's and that's pretty much it. So you got, what if it was 35? Well, 25. Sort of the same thing, right? Maybe.
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. So at the end of these, it's always going to be either 20 or 30. Okay. So what if I was 18? Sound it out for me. Sound it out for me. Actually, Dan, sound it out for me. 18. Do 18.
Our hit points, which are 18, are equal to max hit points, which are not. We're going to skip that first line.
Yep.
The hit points are greater than the max hit point. We're also not. We're going to skip that line. Otherwise, we're going to make them 20.
Okay, yeah. So this is kind of the default, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So else says, hey man, none of these dudes up here satisfied my condition, right? So I'm just gonna do this right here. Do this.
Point of note: this would resurrect characters whose job is to be dead.
Oh, that's good. Yep. So everybody, yeah, it's like, this is like noob mode right here. This is like immortal mode. This is God mode, pretty much. So whenever we run this code, it's gonna resurrect everybody and bring them out there. And if they stay, oh well, yeah. Oh no, yeah, we could add that. If they're less than 20 or something, we'll bring them back to their old job. So you guys are good with this. Now let me ask you a trick question. If I were to take away the else statement, what would happen if I was 15?
I'm sorry, please repeat that.
Yes, sir. In this case, what would happen if I had 15 hit points?
I think you'd break.
No.
Not read that program piece of code.
Yeah, go ahead, do it. Read it out. I'm 15. What would happen?
If you're 15 and you're not equal to 20,
yeah,
then you skip the first line.
Yeah, go ahead.
Else, if your hit points is greater than 20, which is not the case, then you go to the next line
and there's nothing else. Yeah, so nothing happens. See, that's cool. So this only applies to these things. And that is the case. A lot of the time, you're going to see else statements and nothing is going to happen. It's only going to apply for special cases. In this case, we did have something. We had an else statement, but again, just go and execute whatever you need to, whatever it says here. If it doesn't say it doesn't do it, then nothing happens, which is important. Okay, so you guys sort of get this construct here. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's pretty straightforward, I think. Do you guys feel comfortable with the else and else if? That's a big one. Yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. One important thing I will show you for like 1 second, right? Don't freak out. I just want you to be aware of it. Don't freak out. Okay. There is something called a switch statement. I'm just gonna copy paste this. I'm not gonna spend too much time in it. This just says switch whatever this is, and if it's whatever's in here happens to be 1, then perform this. If whatever's in here happens to be 2, then perform this. If whatever's in here happens to be whatever the rest because it's a default. That's like the else. Then default case. Yeah, I don't want you to get too hung up on that one yet. I mean, it's not hanging out. I mean, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I know those are legal and valid, but in a lot of languages, those kinds of statements are highly frowned upon. Is that not the case in C#?
Oh, it's in C#. It's a good way to do it, I think. But yeah, no, I use them all the time, and people use them all the time, really. Yeah, they're the same thing. Basically, this is just a pretty way of writing an if statement, if-else statement. It's the same logic, but it's just a different way of writing it. It's pretty much the same. Let's see. Hold on. Where should I write this? I guess over here. Oh, before loops, I think. Here. Blip. Let me just throw that switch in there. And yeah. But yeah, no, I don't want you to get. Don't use these yet. That's like maybe in the advanced stuff. Ooh, got an iteration statement. Yeah. Okay. So. Okay, so far so good. All right. I will be back in a second. Got to take a quick pippity. Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, I'll be back in a minute. All right.
All right.
Yeah. Maybe get some water or something. Then we'll show you back. Maybe I'll leave you with some quick video. Oh, actually, yeah. Let me show you let me leave you with one of my favorite videos of all time. Oh yeah. Well, oh yeah. Let's see. This is what you guys need, my friends. Yes. The crack fox.
The crack fox. Oh, it's the Mighty Boosh. Okay. Yeah, I know
it's
this.
The greatest of all time. Back in a second. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, man.
I like all good.
Hello.
Oh, I don't think you can hear it. Yeah.
Howdy.
Nah.
Oh, crap.
Who are you?
I'm the Foxy Man.
It's creepy as hell, man.
Oh,
Right. Could you get out of here? Because I've got to clear all this rubbish away.
this isn't rubbish. This is my home. That hole that you crawled through is my front door, sir. The little skateboard there, that's the transportation unit. This old Peach, why, it's my hat, sir. Look,
Yeah.
Peach hat. Everything's different in my world. Let me explain. Look at things, they're different. Are you a prince?
I am called Vince, but I'm not a prince.
Princey.
What the heck am I watching here?
Well done.
You should
It's
have a
it's
goblet of
from a
wine.
comedy skit thing that was around
It's
like
not
10
really a
years
goblet,
ago.
is
called
it?
Mighty
It's
Boosh.
sort of a tennis ball cut in half.
The what now? The
What
crack?
is this? Vimto.
Blood from a cat's
Yeah,
face.
Jesus.
Shame he doesn't
You
have
like my
sound
joke?
though.
I gotta go actually, because you're a freak.
Look, no, I didn't always used to be a freak. Perhaps if you heard my story, you'd understand me more.
I really like stories.
Got pictures with it and animation.
Cartoons, cool.
Move my galoshes and take your seat.
These are not really galoshes, are they? They're Johnny's.
They're my squishy boots. Everything's different in the world of me. Okay, let's have fun. Yeah, that's not the film I meant to show. That's the nighttime film for me in the night times. For the fuzzy tingle time. Once upon a time, there was a fox.
Yes.
And he was called
You go
Jerome.
outside?
He lived in the woods in Elderberry.
Alright, I'm
His
back.
friends were Nicholas the tennis rat and Dante the
Greatest video of all time.
The crack fox.
Oh yeah.
Boys on crack.
It's very important. It's important work, my friend. Important work. It's one of the funniest things of all time.
One day, whilst relaxing,
Okay, ready?
he found a copy of Cheekbone magazine.
Yeah.
It was in the bush. He ended up on the street.
Oh.
Oh, you're not King Arthur.
Oh god, this is great. Oh well, there's one part of it.
The tits.
Yeah, right here. This is the greatest part.
When then, can you do me one last favor?
Right here.
Your sound working?
Oh no, you guys can't.
Pull me apart.
Oh, I think it's almost from my mic, not my other one. Ah, just yeah. Well, just watch this sometime if you guys can. It's really funny.
Yeah, I've seen it before.
It's the greatest. Okay, so now we're back. Okay, so let's see. We're here. So how do we feel about for each statements? Well, first of all, how do we feel about and if statements?
Good.
Are we legit? Yeah, this is nice. This is nice. And we have the for each. And it's very nice. Very nice. So now, the next we're going to be dealing with, we're going to play around with the for statement. Okay, so now we understood the for each, right? For each is pretty sweet. So remember, sound it out. Basically, for each item in the collection, then do whatever's in here. And the item represents each item in the roster, starting with the first. Pretty straightforward. If you guys understand this construct here, you guys are going to understand a whole bunch of other stuff that it's kind of the same, which is it's kind of important here. Okay, so it's good here. I'm just going to write the for each here. So the for statement. So we're looking for a theme. I mean, we got a theme here. I mean, a for statement. So we're finding a theme. I already got it hard to spell. Yeah. So the for statement. So I'm gonna do a little cheat again. I'm gonna type for. You guys see that word here? I'm gonna press tab twice, and boom, it's magic. Oh yeah. Okay, so logically, I want you to look at this construct. Remember, every time you look at any of these things, all they are, they're just constructs. They follow a pattern. You can and kind of use your logic and break it down in your mind and try to figure out what it does. You probably don't have to memorize these. I mean, have them in your notes or just have the environment help you do it. But as long as you understand the concept, because it's all about the concept. Because in different languages, this concept is going to be similar, but it's not going to be exactly the same. But as long as you understand the concept, you'll be able to figure it out anywhere else. Is that jiggy?
Yep.
Good. Okay, so let's sound this out. It's called a for statement. Again, we're trying to repeat something an n amount of times, a certain amount of times. So the way this one works is, before we're going to continue though, I mean, you understand that it's a construct. It's a for statement construct. It exists already, right? I mean, I'm not making it up, correct? You're not making it up. This is how it works, and this is how it is. I know that sounds really silly, and it sounds kind of dumb, but it's like using a tool. All it is you're using a tool that already exists to make your work easier or your job easier. Okay, so this says, right, for, and it has three things. Okay, this is going to be three things that you need to remember. We're going to write this in our notes later on. Okay, so do you guys see three different parts, and each one is separated by a semicolon, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the first one, that is what is called an index or control. And that is going to be keeping track of where you are. And also the first one, you see where it says equals 0? That's going to be the initial value of your index. Okay, so index. No, actually, no. So index, initial value, index tracking. Well, index tracking. Okay. then this. Okay, so the second one is the control. This is the control statement. That's what evaluates. It's an if and if statement, pretty much. I mean, that's what it is. It's a logic statement. And let me see, control. And once that is true, it's sort of like a mini built-in if statement. So if whatever is in there is true, then you're gonna execute whatever's inside. Is that cool? Sort of? Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's actually kind of resembles a while statement.
It is the same thing as a while statement.
While I is less than your number.
Exactly.
Incremented.
But it is a type of while statement. Yeah, that's the one. Actually, we probably should have done a while before this because it's easier, I think. But it's all good.
I mean, there's a lot going on in that one line of code that is kind of useful to know. So.
Yeah. No, but yeah, it's. I mean, we'll get there eventually. But you're correct. It's a mini if statement. This is a control statement, and the third one is, yeah, I mean, it's sort of the same as a while statement. How much or how is the tracking or the index changing every time you go through the loop? So this is index, increase, or change. So in this case, also this is going to be a little bit tricky because we don't really have any context right now. This is just, I'm just showing you kind of like a generic for statement, and that's fine, I think, for now. So the third one here, this is just how much you're going to increase the index every time we go through. And it's very important that you increase the index. You will see why later. Okay, so now, so it's very important. So let's go over each one. Okay, so int I equals 0. So this means, hey, I'm gonna create an I. I mean, I'm creating we got a for loop, and what I want to keep track of, like what I want to run through, this statement here, this loop, I'm gonna keep track with it using I. This is gonna be kind of the control index. And I wanted to start at 0. I mean, I'll go over that in a second, don't worry. It's basically the same thing as, remember how it grabbed the first one when we did the list here automatically? This is like, hey, item, so how many do we have in here? Okay, we have 3, give me the first one, and then go around. This kind of does it automatically for you. In this one, we're saying, hey, start at 0, pretty much. And what we're keeping track of, call it I. Okay, so I'm just gonna, I here, I'm just gonna keep track of I. And the first one is gonna be I equals 0. Okay, so length. In our case, let's say we're dealing, for now, let's say we're dealing with our list. How long is our list?
3.
3. Yeah. So for now, 3. And I++ just means add 1 at the end of each iteration. Okay, so here. Okay, so let's say I have a function called print, and I'm gonna print I. Okay, print, all it does is just print I, right? That, I mean, I'm just yeah, that's all it does over here. Let's see. Yep. Are you guys good when I say I have a function that it doesn't exist. I'm just making it up, but what it does, it just prints whatever I is to the screen or something. Okay, just making sure. Okay, so this prints I to the screen. Let's just make it up and it works.
That's some C language there. Just print.
Yeah, it is like print C and print F, I think. Okay, so got it here. So let's go. Remember what I said about? I know I'm gonna keep saying this over and over because this is the most important thing as a programmer that you have to get used to. Sound out, go through the logic, and go with the flow. Programming is all about flow and reading and going through the flow. And that way you don't confuse and you don't get lost along the way. And it's very important that you when you're working through these problems or these type of constructs, keep track, get a sheet of paper or something and keep track of things with a pen and paper and scratch and keep track of things and change the values as you go. That way in your mind, once you do enough practice, you'll be able to keep track of it in your head. But at the beginning, it helps just to do it on paper while you keep track of it in your head. Like I said, remember we said about the mind castle and all that stuff and the mind palace? Yeah. For now, if your mind palace and all that stuff is not strong enough, use paper. I still use paper, so yeah, it helps. Let's practice anyway. Okay, so this construct says, okay, so let's follow it through. So I go through, this is a for loop. I'm going to use I as my control, my index. And when am I, okay, so this is the if statement. So when am I going to stop? Or when is it going to be true? Sorry. Yeah. So is the first time if I equals 0, I'm starting here. So let's go through it. I start I equals 0 the first time around. And then I go to the control statement. Is I less than 3?
Yes.
Yes, correct. Okay, good. So do I go in here? Yes. Yeah. Again, sound it out. It is all good. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so this does not happen until here, by the way. Until you go here, and then you go to the next one. Yeah, this just means like at the end, add 1. Oh yeah, I++ means add 1 to I. I don't know if you guys knew that. I probably didn't mention that. Yeah, I++ is the same as I equals I plus 1. It's just a shorthand version of saying this, pretty much, yeah. I++ is just a short version for I equals I plus 1. So you're going to be seeing this often. Don't let it get confused. It just means whatever this value is, adds 1. And that's going to be performed right at the end here. So it goes back. Okay, so let's sound it out. Let's do the flow. Feel me with the flow. Let's do this. Okay, so the first time I'm like, okay, man, blip, I hit it. I'm a 0. I is equal to 0. Do I go in here, man? Do I want to go in here? Yeah, I do. Because I is less than 3. And I go in here, boom, I print. What do I print?
Print 0.
Yeah, I print 0. What the hell is that? You got some birds?
That's my cat.
That's weird.
Wow, that's awesome.
What is
that? That is great. Holy crap. That sounds amazing. You're getting some good love over there.
Yeah, he's a sweetie.
Man, that is awesome. He's like, hey, man, it's about time, man. You need to give me some of that love. That is sweet. Okay, so let's see. That's good. That's awesome. It's like that. Let's do. Okay, so yeah. So first time we print I, and I is what?
0.
0. Yeah. So again, sound it out. Go with the flow. So I don't do anything else here. And what did I say happens at the end over here? Like right before we go up?
It repeats itself.
But before we repeat ourselves, we're adding 1 to I. Correct? That's kind of how this works. Yeah, so come over here. So we go up. So now, what is I equal to once we go back up here?
1.
Yep. This is the bread and butter, guys. Hang in there. Once we get through these tools, we're gonna do some cool shit. But this is you know, gotta take the lumps first. Gotta take the lumps. So 1. And what do I need to do next? So this is 1 now. Remember, we're keeping track of it over here.
Greater than 3?
No, less than.
No, it's not greater than 3.
Exactly. So 1 is less than 3. So this is true. So we go in here, blip, and what gets printed?
Print 1.
Yep. So far, we have printed 0 and 1. Okay. So now we come here, and what happens to I?
And +1.
And so I would be equal to 2, correct?
2.
Blip. Yeah, so basically that happens when you go up here. Blip. So I is equal to 2. And we go to the control. And what happens? Do we go in?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. We print what?
2.
2. We go in here. Raise this to 3. Go back in here. And then, is 3 less than 3?
No.
No. So
It's equal to 3.
Exactly. So, but it's not less.
Right.
So we get out. So our loop did it 3 times pretty much, which is cool. So basically, you do this to do a certain amount, you know, do something a certain amount of times. And in this case, we did it 3 times. One thing that we forgot that I need to add here is, let's see, less than. Are you guys familiar with this? It's I kind of forgot this. You know what this is?
Less than equals?
Yeah, less than or equal. Less than or equal. I mean, I kind of take it for granted, but yeah, we forgot about that one. This is greater than or equal. Okay. I mean, you guys sort of get this, right? I mean, yeah. So it's true if it's greater, but also if it's equal. Okay, so actually, I think it's okay. So let me ask you a question. So what if I did this? How many times would print it?
4 times.
That's right. Then it would print 3. Beautiful. Okay, so what if I were to do this many times? What would get printed?
That would be a lot of printing. 100
Yep.
times. 112 times.
That's right. Yep. 112. Because you're doing the actual number itself. But right now, since you're starting at 0, do it like this. Or you could just say initial equals 1. Okay. So, yeah, you sort of get this, right? I mean, in a way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad. Let me reinforce this. Oh, your name is 5:30 already? Hardcore, my friend, hardcore. Time flies, my friend. Let me reinforce this, though, before we decide to go on or do other stuff, okay? So, this is a for statement. Okay. So, you guys understand it with numbers, right? And do you guys remember? So, we have a roster. You guys remember the sweet roster that we have? We have a roster class. I mean, not a class. We have a roster here.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to use the same concept of the roster. Is that cool with everyone? Of course it is, yes. So our roster, which is all right. So I'm trying not to confuse you here, but for now, let me know if this makes sense to you. Let's see. Don't get confused. Let me see. Does that make sense to you, sort of?
Are you saying we're putting a new person in entry number 3?
Now remember, I'm creating a. This is an array. Remember, so
Right.
yeah. So it's gonna be an array of three people for now.
Oh, okay. We're creating a whole new array.
Yeah, we're creating a whole new array. Okay. So now make believe, right? Make believe that our array has this same information. So basically the same information as the list that we had before. Okay. So you guys get that you could have an array of persons also, correct?
Yeah.
Because all it is just a collection, but it's just a different type of collection. So it's sort of the same thing here. So the basement is its Dave here, right here. Okay, so now we have a roster, and again we filled it up with all the information for these 3 people here. Okay. So now, if let's say I wanted to do something here. So how would I get? So I want to do something the amount of times, or I wanted to do something the amount of times of the roster. Well, of the roster, like how many people is in the roster. So how do I get the roster amount or length or count? You guys remember?
Roster.count.
That's right. Or length, I think it is. Yeah, I think count. Yeah. Yeah, roster.count. So what is roster.count here?
3.
That's right. So don't get confused. All roster.counts represents is a number. That's all it is. It always amounts to some kind of number. Okay, so now let's say, well, let's do the same thing. Well, let's say I wanted to change everybody's health to 20. How would I do that? How do you think I would do that? That's probably an advanced, maybe. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know. Well, let's see. First of all, how would I access the basement? How would I access the name? Well, how would I access the age of the first item in the array? The most bottom, yeah. Go ahead.
Would we do roster.age, and for this one it'd be in brackets 0?
Sort of yes and no. But roster, well, let's see.
Could we use I in place of a number?
Exactly, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. But for now, let's forget about this here. And actually, let's say we had this here, right? Because yeah, that way we don't lose the track here. So we have an array of persons, right? Okay, so how would I access the age of the first item, or the basement? You guys remember? I know it's been a while. You guys remember how to access stuff in an array? We kind of focused on. You guys remember?
Thank you.
It's here. Yeah. We did not do a lot of examples using person with array, so I understand it's a little tricky. We just did it using normal strings.
Is it roster, square bracket,
Yeah.
0, square bracket?
Oh, well, sort of close, Well, let's see. Let's check it out. Let's say roster, square bracket, 0. You're far there. And then
roster, square bracket, I.
Well, no, remember, we're not using I yet. This is just separate.
Okay.
We're keeping it simple here. All we want to access is the bottommost, the age of the bottommost or the first array.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
So square brackets for age.
Yeah, well, dot age, yes. Here. And then, that's how we access it here. And we can set it 100 or anything like that. But remember, in this construct, this is equivalent to the first one. It's kind of another name for the first item in there. That's what it is. Maggie, here is the first one. And this would be another name for the next guy over. And so on. So remember, since they are something of type person, then you can access it like this. You see it? All right. Does that make sense at all? I mean, you guys remember that?
Yeah, that makes, yeah.
Right here, dot age. Yeah, I know it's something that we got to keep practicing and keep doing, but then we will. Because the next thing is going to be a little project. Okay, so far so good here. Okay, so you can understand that this is how we access. Okay, good. So let me bring this back up. Okay. So having this here, how do I change each person's age to 111? In the roster, how would I do that? Using this loop.
Roster square bracket I square bracket dot age equals 111.
That's right. Age equals 111. Exactly. So, and this is, so because this is doing it the amount of times that there are in roster, right? And we're changing it to 111 here. Okay, so now, do me a favor. I know this is stupid, but it's very important for us to do this. Very, very important. Now, let's sound it out. Let's do a couple. Let's do a couple. Go through the flow. Do the logic flow. Okay, so I'm here. Boom. I'm over here. I said this is my control statement here. This is my index. I started at 0. Okay, so first 0 is equal, first I is equal to 0. I start at 0. Remember, keep track of that at all times. Very important. So I, which is equal to 0, is it less than count?
Yes.
Which is 3, yeah. So we go in here. So we're accessing, so what is I here? What is I?
0.
Yep. So roster 0. So the first dude, that means access the age of the first dude and put it to 111. Then go out, set this, at the, basically again, this means at the end of here, at the end of each loop, add 1 to I. So I is equal to 1 here. So now you are accessing, well, first here. So I is equal to 1. I is less than 3. We go in. And why is I now? I mean, who are you accessing now? Sorry.
Yeah. Dan.
You're accessing Dan. That is correct. Accessing Dan here, and you're accessing Dan's age here. Then we go here, add 1. This goes 2. This is 2. I is less than. We go in. Now we're accessing this guy here, 2. So this is going to be here. And then we go here. This is 3. Okay, so is 3 less than count? It is not. So we don't do anything. So this would affect each one, and would, and that would definitely affect each one for the count. Okay, now let me ask you a question. I mean, are you sort of good with this? How we can use this construct here to do things a bunch of times, and how we could combine it with arrays to do things and affect arrays, or even list, in a kind of convenient way. Yeah, so this is sort of the same thing that we did with a case. I mean, with the for each, right? We're just doing it in a different way. Okay, so this is good here. I'm going to ask you a question though now. Are you ready?
Ready.
Okay, now this is a trick question. Okay. This is a tricksy. I. Okay. You guys are big shots now. You understand this perfectly, right? Right? Now, tell me. Sound that out. Go through that and tell me what happens. Okay, well, I'm going to choose somebody. Let's see. Dan, hit me. Yeah, go ahead. Well, we're starting at 0 here. So, yeah. Run it through. Okay, go ahead. What do we have?
All right. So starting from 0, I is less than the roster count.
Correct. So we go.
Roster count is technically 2, right?
What's that?
It's 2. The roster count. No, it's actually 2.
Yeah, roster count doesn't change it. No worries.
Yeah. So we're setting the age of the first entry to 111.
Correct.
And adding 2 to I.
Okay, good. So we add 2 to I, correct here?
Yeah.
Blip. So I is equal to 2. All right, and then we go here.
Yep. Starting at 2, it's less than roster count. So we're going to set the second entry in the roster.
Which way? This guy here?
Which is, nope, up 1 more.
That's right.
And that's going to be 111.
Okay, good. So it's going to affect this guy here, right?
And then we're going to increment I again, and we're going to be out of range for the next one.
Exactly. So 2 things to pay attention here and definitely try to understand here. So the next time this goes here, what does this go to?
4.
It will go to 4. And then, is I less than 4? I mean, it's 4 less than 3? No. So we skip out. So also notice that we did this guy and we skipped this guy because we did not access his index. We did not touch his I-la-la, his tra-la-la here. We did not go inside him sorry.
Oh my.
Yeah, I know. We went inside Dave. Oh, geez. And we went inside B right here. We left Dan alone. Okay. So but you guys see how that can hop around and do some kind of control stuff. Okay. Okay, so this is beautiful. So So you guys get how this works somewhat. Again, it's all about sounding it out, following the flow of the logic, and just doing things step by step. Don't get confused. What a lot of people get confused and they get flustered because they try to do everything at the same time. Now with programming and anything, you do it one by one, and you do it this, then next, because that's how a computer does it. All right. Actually, before, well, let me give you a quick one because it's 5:44. How are your heads? Your heads are pretty battered probably. But let me give you this right here. Yeah, I'm just gonna give you the while statement, which is pretty quick, pretty easy, especially since you know the other two already. So it's called the while statement or the do while statement. For now, we're just gonna do the while statement, which is sort of the same thing and what, but yeah. Since the other ones are not really used that much anymore, these are kind of the main ones that are used. But so while whatever's in here is true. So while true, do this. So let me let's see. Let me just do this right here. Well, actually, let me just copy this. While true, copy into our sweet notes. I will do these. Yeah, I'll copy these and make it a little bit more easy to understand soon. Trademark. Let's see. Yeah. So while. Okay, so this one's really easy, but it's the one that has the most. It's the easiest one, but it has the potential to mess you up the most because it's so simple. Okay, so basically what this is, it's while this is true. So this has to evaluate to true, right? Do whatever's in here. I know it's very easy, but print hello. Okay, so I'm just gonna do a boolean here. Bool do equals to true. Okay, I know this is pretty, So while do, print hello. Okay, so basically do is a boolean, right? And right now it's equal to true. So do me a favor, so let's sound it out for me. Sound it out. Let's do this. So remember, this is just sound it like English, follow the flow, and let's do this since. Okay, Dave, do me a favor. Do it like we did with the other loops here. Sound it out. Tell me what happens. Go ahead.
Well, do equals true. Print hello.
Okay, yeah, exactly. So, well, do it for me though. Follow the logic. Tell me what happens. Okay. Do it 3 times. Do it 3 times, or as many times as it takes. Or yeah, go ahead, please.
If do equals to true, then print hello.
Okay, then well again. So do it line by line for me. How does it happen? Go ahead. So we get to 158. What happens?
Okay.
So is do true?
Yes.
Okay, then what happens?
Then print hello.
Okay, then we go to 160, correct? And we print hello. Yeah, well, here. Yeah, we go to print hello. And then what happens? We reach here. And then we go back to the loop. We go back up. And we examine the control statement. So this is the control statement here. Don't forget about it. Don't forget the control statement. Yeah, control. So the control statement is what lets you break out of a loop. The control statement. Yeah.
Or not, if the case
or
may be.
yeah, or not. So this is what it lets you break out of the loop. So we got here, right? So go ahead, say it for me. What happens? What happens?
It goes back to while do.
Okay, and then what happens?
It's still true.
It examines it, right?
160.
Okay, yeah. So it examines it, right? So this is still true. So we go to 160. So then we go here, and then we go back up. So then what happens?
It does the same thing.
Okay, so then we go here, and then we go up here, and then what happens?
Still printing hello.
Okay. So do you notice something here? If we run this code?
It's like an infinite loop.
It is an infinite loop, exactly. It's pretty sweet, right? Not really, but yes. So the statement here, the control statement, is not changing. The state of it is not changing. Let's see. So it is important for you to keep track of the control statement, make sure it changes, so you eventually you will break out of the loop. Are you with me?
Yes.
Okay. So how would you get out of this loop? Inside, write something inside here that would make you get out of the loop. Or somewhere. Where would, yeah. What would be required for you to get out of the loop, logically?
Do equals false.
That's right. That is right. So do equals false. And then, so you do it here, blip, print it, do equals false, go back up, is do false? Yes, it is, then get out. So if you don't keep track of that and change it and update the value of the status of the control statement, you're gonna be gonna get stuck there forever and ever, forever, ever. Yes, you're gonna definitely, just like Miss Jackson. You're gonna get stuck there.
Which is what we do when we shut off our computer. We just put it in an infinite loop. It gets stuck in.
Yeah, sort of.
Also known as a halt and catch fire.
Yeah. That was a good show too. That was a good show. I need to watch the last season. Yeah, there's a show called. I haven't
seen it. It is good though.
No, it's pretty good. It's actually really good. At least the first couple of seasons. I need to catch up on the last one. It was really, really good. I need to get in there and watch it. I mean, watch the final one. Okay, so again here, but yeah, that's how they describe it at the beginning of the show too, in a way. It's like you have to, well, you kind of have to try to catch up with the raising statement or something. They just explain it in a weird way. Well, I mean a good way. Okay, so you guys see this, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So yeah. So this has to change. So why are we doing this, and why why are we learning this right here, and how would you use it? Okay. Now, the only thing, or the most important thing you have to remember about loops is, it is up to you to decide what is the best construct to use when doing looping. Do you need a loop to do something? Yes or no? Okay. Yes, you need a loop. What loop is best? Do you know the amount of items? If I knew that I had to do, I have a list and I don't know how many lists are, I don't know. I just get a list from somewhere. Somebody's giving me a list from the internets, a list of users, and I have to do something for all of them. What construct would I use? I want to change all their ages.
List. Wait.
No, what loop construct? Yeah.
Oh, what loop construct for each?
Yeah, for each is good. And can I use a for loop with the for each if I wanted to also?
You could.
You could, but again, a for each is so much easier because with a list you have access to the for each construct, which does everything for each item, and it makes it nice, you know. And let's say, you kind of have to use your head and see what is the best thing. For example, you would use a while loop if you had to do a whole bunch of logic and that changes over time, and it had nothing to do with the amount of items that you that you're, let's see, that you were processing. Yeah, processing, that's the word. So let's say, let me give you a quick example, and then we'll wrap it up. So let's say I have a list of a bunch of dudes, right? Or girls, yeah. Let's see, found. It's true. Okay, found equals. Found equals false. Okay. So, did I find it? Not found. Actually, let's call it not found for now. That way. Okay, so I have a list, huge list. Well, I have a roster, and roster again it's our list. So I wanted to do something and stop when I found the name Caesar. Actually, I'm just gonna give you this one free because it's getting late for you guys. And but yeah, so I'm just gonna give you, so while not found. Let's see. Actually, I'm just gonna, while found. This is kind of a tricky one. While found not equals actually while found equals false. It's kind of weird because we kind of have to reverse the well found. Actually, let's call it. There we go. Okay, well found equals false. Okay, so and then roster, and then let's say we have some kind of actually, yeah, this one it's kind of, yeah, this one's, it's kind of tricky because we would need access to each one. So for now, let's just say we have roster dot name. Just go with the flow. Just go with the flow. Okay, so if roster dot name, this is just quick and dirty, equals Caesar. Then found equals true. All right. So this is going to go through, well, found equals false here, right? And this is going to happen while false equals false. So the first time we go around, false equals false, then we go in? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, so we go in. Let's say we go through here. We're using this here. Okay, so is the first one, remember, let's pretend that each one I'm going through each one. So the first one is going to be here. So is roster name equals Caesar?
No.
Nope. So we don't do this and we go around. We go back up. Is found equals false?
Yes.
Yes, and we go again here. We go blip. Is roster name equals Caesar?
No.
We go again. Is found equals false? Yes. Okay, we go in, go up. Is Russell name equals Caesar?
Yes.
Then we go in, we said found equals true. And then is found equals false? I mean, is false equals false?
No.
No. So we break. Because we found kind of what we were looking for here. So yeah, that's kind of it's a tricksy example, but you get what I'm saying though. You get the control and you see how it flows until this is not true. All right, so how's you guys' heads? How's you guys get this a little bit? How you feel about this?
Feeling good about this.
Okay, no, this is good. If you guys feel good about this and you get this, we're definitely looking good. Especially if you understand how the class and the person class interacts with some of these collections and loops and how we can access them. So we are at a pretty good point. There are other loops, but for now, I think this is just the ones that we're going to be using. I promise to clean these notes up and send you guys a better, we need a better type of notes, I think. It's not the the notes that we need, that deserve? Yeah, the notes that we deserve, but the notes that we need. That's what it is, yeah. I just butchered that, but it's okay.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Yes, so I will try to update these notes and send you a cleaned up version of the project, and then we will start probably something next time we meet. With a little bit of maybe some database action or something else. So we got to start bringing together everything we know. So you guys feel good about this? About the stuff we did today and so far? You feel sort of comfortable? Okay, because now is when we start doing the do. Okay, so we are, I think, done for today. How long have we been going? Let's see. Oh, damn, we're hardcore, baby. Parkour.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're done for today. When are you guys good to meet? I don't know how your mind is. You want to meet tomorrow? It's up to you. What's up?
Tuesday?
Yeah, we can do either tomorrow or Tuesday. I'm good for both.
I don't know. It's up to you. I'm good for either. Dave, when do you prefer, Tuesday or Monday?
You know what?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah. Well, because it's
Monday's,
easier. Yeah, Monday what? I'm sorry.
Monday should be fine.
Yeah. Because it's easier, I think, for Monday, at least for Dan, right? And, we wanted to make it easier for everyone. Yeah, okay, so
Monday then.
Monday's
Actually,
good.
On that note, this is the final Sunday in which I am working nights. So
okay.
I will be trying to move some of my work over to Monday, but that won't be. It'll take 3 weeks for it to process once I'm approved. So I'll keep you up to date on that.
Yeah, no, just let me know. We're good. Okay, so we will meet tomorrow, Monday, and then it should be tasty. So I think we're doing very good progress, and get ready. Okay? All right. I'll upload this later.